Before we get into this breakdown, if you enjoy smart NBA analysis that goes deeper than the box score and actually explains why things work on the court, make sure you're subscribed. Because moments like this are exactly what this channel is built for. Now, what a night, and what a Lakers debut for Luke Kennard. Making your first appearance in a Lakers jersey at home in front of that crowd is not easy, especially when your reputation is built around shooting. For most players, that pressure shows. For Kennard, it didn't show at all. In just 26 minutes, despite clearly not knowing the entire playbook yet, he played closing minutes, finished in double figures, and looked completely comfortable within the offense. 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 made threes on 4 attempts, right in line with what he's done all season. And that's the part people forget. Kennard isn't just a good shooter. He's historically efficient. He's leading the NBA in three-point percentage this season, and he's currently second all-time in NBA history in that category. That gravity showed up immediately. Even without Luka on the floor, the Lakers' offense felt different the moment Kennard checked in. But the real story wasn't just the shots he made, it was everything happening between them. Kennard's off-ball movement was elite. He didn't stand still. He relocated, cut at the right moments, forced defenders to stay attached, and punished aggressive closeouts. When he shared the floor with LeBron or Austin Reeves, the defense was stuck in impossible decisions. You can't overhelp off LeBron, you can't lose Reeves, and you absolutely cannot leave Kennard, unlike other players teams are willing to ignore at the perimeter. That spacing opened lanes. It created clean reads, and Kennard took advantage with quick decisions and smart, connective passing. He hit cutters, kicked out when help collapsed, and kept the ball moving without killing the flow. This wasn't a stationary catch-and-shoot performance. This was a high IQ offensive piece fitting into the system on day one. Even defensively, he surprised people. No, he's not a lockdown defender. That's not his role. But with effort, positioning, and awareness, he held his ground, contested shots, and stayed engaged, enough to stay on the floor when it mattered. This debut showed something important. Luke Kennard isn't just a shooter the Lakers added. He's a skill set they didn't have, and this was only the beginning. With DeAndre out of the lineup, and even with Jackson Hayes returning and getting the start, one thing became clear by the end of the night. Maxi Kleber earned the finish. Kleber logged 28 minutes, played the entire fourth quarter, and once again closed the game for the Lakers. And while the box score won't jump off the screen, just 5 points, this was one of those games where numbers don't tell the story at all. Kleber was everywhere defensively. He battled on the glass, grabbed 7 rebounds, including 2 on the offensive end, added a block in the fourth, and finished as a team-high plus 12. That's not accidental, that's impact. What stood out most was trust. The coaching staff trusted him enough to stay on the floor when the game tightened. For the second straight game, Kleber closed. And for the second straight game, the Lakers looked more connected, more physical, and more disciplined with him out there. He defended without fouling, rotated early, and did the dirty work that doesn't show up in highlights. That's why he's carving out a real role. If this continues, don't be surprised if Kleber remains a steady part of the rotation and quietly chips away at minutes from other bigs. In certain matchups, even 2 big lineups could be back on the table. And Kleber wasn't alone. Jared Vanderbilt once again reminded everyone why his presence matters, especially against smaller, faster lineups. Every time the Lakers face Golden State, Vanderbilt seems to find another gear. He finished with 13 points, knocked down 2 threes, pulled down 8 rebounds, added 2 assists and 2 steals, and posted a plus 11 on the night. That's energy. That's physicality. That's disruption. The combination of Vanderbilt, Kleber, Luke Kennard, and Austin Reeves became a real engine for the Lakers. Those lineups didn't just survive. They built leads. They defended with purpose, moved the ball, and punished mistakes. It wasn't flashy. It was effective. Rui Hachimura deserves his flowers too. 18 points, 4 made threes, and timely scoring when the offense needed stability. He spaced the floor, attacked mismatches, and capitalized on the attention drawn by others. That balance is what made this a true team win. What ties all of this together is decision-making. That's where Luke Kennard fits perfectly. He isn't an isolation player. He doesn't dominate the ball. He plays with a .5 mentality. Catch, read, decide. Attack the closeout, force the defense to react, swing the ball, and trust the next action. That's how good offenses stay alive. Even on plays that were drawn up, like the corner three off a timeout, Kennard showed his feel for timing and spacing. And in moments where nothing fancy was called, he still found ways to contribute by simply reading the floor. Over these last 2 wins, the Lakers didn't win with star power alone. They won with grit, IQ, and players doing exactly what the moment required. And that's why this performance mattered, not just because of one debut, but because of what it revealed about the rotation moving forward. What stood out late in this game wasn't just execution, it was intent. Coming out of halftime, the Lakers simplified everything. The focus shifted to one thing: get into the paint. No overthinking, no fancy reads, just pressure. Just force the defense to react. That tone was set early in the second half, and it carried through the final minutes, especially when the game tightened. And that's where Luke Kennard's presence quietly mattered again. When you acquire a player mid-season, especially one who immediately plays closing minutes, the real question isn't talent, it's how fast can he adapt. That adaptation doesn't happen on the court alone. It happens in film rooms, walkthroughs, and details most fans never see. Before this game, Kennard had already gone through full offensive and defensive film edits. He studied the Lakers' concepts, their coverages, their terminology, and he did it immediately. Not every player does that. Some take their time. Some rely on feel. Kennard didn't. That preparation showed. You could see it in how comfortable he looked reading actions he'd barely been part of. You could see it in how quickly he recognized spacing, when to lift, when to cut, when to swing the ball. That's not something you fake. That's IQ meeting preparation. And when the Lakers needed a bucket, they trusted him. Out of a timeout in the second half, a play was drawn up specifically for Kennard. Not a bailout play. Not a let's see what happens action. A clean design. Maxi Kleber set the screen perfectly. Austin Reaves delivered the pass on time. Kennard buried the shot. That moment mattered, not because of the points, but because of what it signaled. Trust like that doesn't come easily, especially for a player who just arrived. It comes when coaches believe you'll be in the right place, make the right read, and execute under pressure. Kennard understands his role. He's not an isolation scorer. He's not there to dominate the ball. He plays with a .5 mentality. Catch, read, decide. Attack the closeout. Move the defense. Swing the ball. Let the next action create the advantage. That mindset keeps offenses alive, especially late in games when defenses lock in. Defensively, the Lakers leaned heavily on zone lineups, and that helped Kennard settle in even more. Zone defense demands communication. It forces players to talk, to point, to anticipate. For a new player, that accelerates chemistry. It builds comfort faster than silence ever could. Kennard was vocal. He asked questions. He adjusted on the fly. And more importantly, his teammates trusted him. LeBron, Reaves. Veterans guiding him, putting him in the right spots, encouraging him to stay aggressive. That kind of environment matters. What made this performance impressive wasn't perfection. There were still moments where timing wasn't flawless. There are still reads he'll clean up. That's expected. But the foundation is already there. Preparation, IQ, effort, and composure. And now, the Lakers face a real test. Back-to-back games against top teams in the Western Conference. Tough matchups. Physical basketball. Games that reveal who you really are before the All-Star break. These are the games that shape confidence. These are the games that define rotations. A win, even a split, changes the tone. It sends a message internally. It reinforces belief. And if the Lakers can compete, execute, and trust this growing rotation against elite teams, that momentum carries forward. What this debut showed is bigger than one night. It showed a team finding balance. It showed role players stepping up. It showed smart basketball winning moments. Luke Kennard didn't just fit in, he elevated the flow. Maxi Kleber anchored grit. Vanderbilt brought energy. Rui delivered scoring. And together, the Lakers looked like a group that understands what winning basketball actually requires. This wasn't about hype. This was about process. And if this is the baseline, then what comes next might be even more interesting.